Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pit and Paddock Race Show for June 18th. We're going to mix it up a little bit this week and start with World Endurance, where Ferrari won the 20 Hours of Le Mans.
Yeah, what was up with the 4 hours of safety car?
It gave everyone a chance to nap overnight, I guess.
It did happen kind of late at night, right?
Yeah, it was like, okay, all the crews are passed out in the... Someone wake me up.
Man, you could get a pretty good nap in for 4 hours.
I think everyone was well rested.
The safety car was out longer than many endurance race cars. What did it have to refuel? I don't know. Can you go 4 hours in a safety car?
I believe the safety car did refuel during the break.
They have an alternate safety car, like the one pulls in and another one goes
I
out.
know they have 3.
Oh, well, see, they could have taken turns.
Well, Ferrari got the lead pretty quickly after Cadillac fell back from the top spots.
Yeah, Cadillac faded like electric car sales projections. I thought they were going to be a contender in this race.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I watched the start and then was doing some stuff for a few minutes, and I get back and they're in like 15th.
Wow.
What happened?
I didn't really see. They just kind of fell back, like Lance Stroll.
Porsche stayed up there most of the day. Then Toyota made a late run and finished second.
Yes, it was a good day for the Axis powers. All they needed was Porsche to podium, but they couldn't quite get there.
Almost. Yeah, because it was Porsche Penske, and they could figure out how to enable push to pass.
Do they have anything like that on World Endurance? I don't think they have.
I know it's a hybrid, but I don't think it's
on a boost. They could like throw some ballast out when nobody's looking.
I think they can adjust things.
Little door in the bottom to drop some of the ballast out.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Just pit stop, put it back in.
Yeah, I like you know how they have that elevated podium that hangs way up there?
All the fans run down there after the race.
I really wanted to see someone push the Michelin Man over the railing just to see if he could bounce good.
I bet he could.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know what his costume's made of, but you think he could just like bounce right back up, and the crowd picks him up and throws him around like a beach ball at a graduation.
The Michelin Man. He can hang out with that Fire Hawk, Murder Hawk guy at the IndyCar race.
Oh yeah. He could just like sumo wrestler.
Why doesn't Goodyear have a creepy mascot?
I don't know. They could do a grudge match. The Fire Hawk and the Michelin dude. Yeah, what would Goodyear have? It's just like their motto's like a tire with wings or something.
Yeah. I don't know.
They need to do something that you could have like tire head guy with some wings on his head.
Michelin managed to come up with a mascot.
Oh. And then we could have a 3-way grudge match. Like the 2 American tires team up on the French tire. That'd be fun. Like a melee, mascot melee.
Smash Brothers mascots. Not a great day for the Alpine cars, who both finished dead last in the hypercar category.
Just like Formula One?
Lessons learned.
Yeah. Peugeot had a new hypercar that turned out to be a big disappointment, finishing out of the top 10.
That's why you don't put Stoffel Van Dorn at the wheel and expect to win races.
Did he ever... He raced in Formula One for what one of the bottom bencher teams, like, I don't know.
I don't think they exist anymore, or they've changed their name.
Yeah, like Force India or one of those, Marussia or one of those teams.
Minardi? I don't know.
Yeah, he I don't think he ever scored points unless, like, there was a lot of rain and he got lucky or something.
No.
I was really hoping for a Ford versus Ferrari race.
Oh, that would have been cool. But Ford did get a GT podium in the Mustang.
Yeah, how did the Mustang do that good?
I don't know.
I mean, in real life, it's not that good of a car.
A couple of them were having problems, but they got a couple in there that worked just fine.
So, what, in the GT class?
GT.
What do they call their supercar?
The Ford?
Yeah.
What Was that the GT? The GT, I
The
believe.
GT. Why
Yeah.
couldn't they race that one in the class? No, they put the Mustang up
Moved
there.
on to the Mustang.
Oh well. Does GT class really count, or is that kind of like a starter class?
I think they look cool. Most of them. They do have a lot of manufacturers now in there. Corvettes, Fords, Ferraris, Lamborghinis.
Yeah, they look like really expensive street cars, basically, with
Yeah.
the wing on the back.
Yeah. Hypercar's where it's at, though. That one's
So they don't call them prototypes anymore. Now it's hypercar. right?
Hypercar.
Same thing, different name.
Yeah. A couple years back, they changed up the formula because, there was like 2 or 3 companies making LMP1 cars. Like Audi and, there would only be 4 or 6 at the race, and that wasn't really that entertaining. So they changed up the formula and got a lot more manufacturers involved.
Well, that's a good plan.
Puts on a much better race now.
Yeah.
The all-female Lambo, the Iron Dames they called it,
Yeah.
was a bit disappointing this time.
Yeah. They needed Margaret Thatcher running the team, and then they could be the Iron Dames.
That would have done it.
Plus, the paint job on that car was just weird.
I couldn't tell what it was or what sort of writing they had all over it.
It looked like they let all their children loose with silly string, and they just had like a silly string battle with the cars. Yeah, I don't know what else. Does anybody? So wait, so now it's hypercar, LMP2, which is everybody drives the same car,
Pretty much.
and then GT.
Yep.
All right. Does anybody really care about the lower classes? It kind of feels like watching Busch and Arca run in a NASCAR Cup race. Like nobody's paying that much attention. They're all watching the Cup cars.
That would be entertaining if they tried that once. I don't know. I would say lose the LMP2 cars. They're all just the same car out there running. Like what's the point of it? Except to just put more cars on the track. It doesn't really gain anything for the race.
Like when Lego uses a lot of small pieces and then they can raise the piece count on
Yeah.
the box for their Lego. It's got 3,000 pieces. Most of them are really tiny.
I was missing the NASCAR Garage 56 stock car from last year. That one was fun to follow last year.
How'd they do?
They finished the race. They weren't in a category.
Is that like when Buell raced in not MotoGP, but the American Superbike Series?
I don't know what
Buell never finished a race.
20-something?
Yeah. Oh, they were like 20th in the GT class?
They weren't in a class.
Oh.
Just 20-something overall, I think.
So they were first in class.
Yes. Didn't finish last.
Oh. I wanted to call out the nice barrel roll from the Aston Martin.
Oh, that's probably Lance Stroll's future car right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Lance is gonna last past when the new formula comes out and he still is 10 positions behind his teammate. Then maybe he'll finally go to sports cars.
I wonder, maybe his dad will be like, "Hey, we're gonna start a hypercar program.
Oh yeah, we were.
Why don't you go check that one out?"
Where you might be able to, you can go not win races in that series too. When's the next international endurance one? Daytona?
The 24?
24 Daytona? The one where Europe and America and cars all kind of come together and
Yeah,
race
probably
again.
Daytona in January is the one that everyone pays attention to.
Okay. Sebring is that the 1,000 miles of Sebring?
12 hours.
12 hours. Okay.
That one's in a couple months later.
Do the Europeans really come over for that one?
Some of them, not as much as they used to.
Le Mans is still the big one. You got to give the French something. They don't really have a lot.
Good for them.
Yeah.
It's a very French race.
Okay.
All right, moving on to NASCAR. Ryan Blaney won the Iowa Corn something 300, holding off Byron and Elliott in a long green flag run.
So they called it the Corn 300, like IndyCar?
Yes, everything in Iowa is related and/or is corn. Is what I learned from watching the race this weekend. If I see another Field of Dream reference or corn reference, my God, I don't.
Did they show how they make corn into alcohol?
Oh, yes, I think they did everything.
Can they do deep fried corn with bacon wrapped around it.
I hope so.
Remember the deep fried bacon at the NASCAR race in Las Vegas?
Sounds like a state fair
I know.
treat. So Larson and Blaney pretty much dominated the first two stages, right there.
What happened to LaJoy? Like, he just crashed all by himself.
Yeah, I don't know. He got a fast car too, and he just crashed.
I thought he was tripped up by the Iowa State paint scheme.
That's usually what does it.
I was kind of surprised by all the three wide racing. I don't think we saw that when IndyCar was there.
No, I was kind of surprised by that too, with the track repave, half bad repave they did.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of surprised we didn't hear the commentators saying 3 wide 1,000 times.
They
like
usually
they usually do. We usually get a quick 4 or 5 wide shout out because it's really important that we know that.
Yeah. They're 3 wide.
4 wide.
Oh no, we're all gonna die.
Settle down, everybody. Kyle Busch once again had issues. I think he's looking to take on the unlucky title for NASCAR.
That's like strike 3 for Busch in a row. He should try switching cars with Colton Herta, see if they can throw off the funk.
Is it even possible? Man, I believe he's crashed or his engine exploded in the last 3 races.
3 in a row.
And he was also punched in the face in that time span as well.
Man, I saw that in slow-mo. He didn't even move in time. Like he didn't even dodge.
You think you'd have a little faster reaction time there if you're a race car driver?
I don't know.
Maybe it was more fun to take the hit. I don't know. So at around lap 220, Kyle Larson kind of made a dive bomb move there, and Suarez ended up getting into him and taking him out of the race.
Yeah, that looked like it was deserved.
It took a couple replays for me to see what actually happened. I'm like, what are you doing, Suarez? And I was like, oh, Larson sort of just dove into a space that wasn't quite big enough for a third car.
Like the stop hitting yourself thing that you do to little brothers.
Pretty much. So, all in all, the teams got the tire issues sorted from practice. That ended up not really being a huge problem. And ended up giving us I would say, one of the best short track races so far this year.
They were 3 wide.
3 wide. Good. 3 wide. Even the high groove was working, and that wasn't even repaved. So the weird looking repave worked out okay. Did you see it, like half of the third lane looked like it was paved, and then nothing in the straightaway?
Was it like that for the IndyCar race last year?
No, NASCAR came in. I think NASCAR owns the track. NASCAR came in and was like, well, the asphalt was going to get tore up, and we didn't have time to do a full repave, so we just halved it. But ended up not being a big deal. My favorite part of the weekend was the NBC coverage, which was quite a bit better than Fox to watch.
Ooh.
A lot better camera work.
Good luck, IndyCar. You're going to need it.
Yeah.
Who broadcast the spring race in Phoenix, the NASCAR spring race that we went to?
That's Fox.
Was that Fox?
Yeah.
I just remember I was close to the front, and there's a guy walking around with the weird backpack and a camera. He had like a crane going over the back of his head to hold the camera up, so he didn't have to hold the camera all day.
Oh. Was he getting crowd shots, or was he on the fence?
He was on the fence. He was doing like shots down the track, but I thought that was actually kind of smart, because then you're not you don't have to stick with a tripod or get tired of holding a camera all day.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, the pattern I've noticed between the excellent short track races NASCAR have is there's some kind of variable that happens. At Iowa, the cars were driving a lot faster than they expected because of the repave. And at Bristol, the temperatures were much colder than they expected. And Goodyear didn't quite bring the right tire.
And it made for good racing.
So, you go in practice, the cars are blowing tires after 15 or 20 laps. Everyone has a meltdown. And then then the crew chiefs and the drivers look at it and go, all right, well, I guess we'll make some adjustments. We'll change the car up a bit or change your driving style. And then by race time, everyone's got it figured out. You know, you got to manage your tires. You got to adjust the car correctly so the tires last. And it ends up making the race a lot better to watch.
Uncertainty.
Yes.
Makes for a better race.
So hopefully Goodyear can learn, like, you know what, just throw a little bit softer tire at everyone.
I heard Goodyear's bringing a new tire compound to New Hampshire. So do they have, like, you know, like 4 sets of compounds that they go with? Or do they just throw something, let's go with number 46?
I think they got a certain sets up for types of tracks. Like Phoenix, Gateway, New Hampshire, I think would be in the same type of tire track. And then there's probably a short track type tire and like a super speedway or mile and a half track.
They have that many options to choose from.
I guess they do.
What does Formula One have? Like soft, super soft, ultra soft, medium, hard, extra hard?
6?
Yeah, like 6 compounds, not including the wet tires.
Yeah. And Goodyear kind of picks the tire based on what type of track they're at.
I'm just curious how many options they have to go with. They're talking about like a thicker tire that will heat up better, but then wear out and
make it a little harder to drive with the hot tire.
Yeah, so I mean, if they have that many variables to deal with, you would think they could, you know, follow the science and give us a good race every time.
Figure it out, Goodyear.
What about paint schemes? What did you like?
Well, my 2 favorite were the Bubba Wallace with the purple Grimace car and Tyler Reddick dressed up as the Hamburglar.
Yeah.
The McDonald's mascot cars.
Yeah, I like the Hamburger. Except Grimace was invisible because they made the car the same purple as Grimace, so you couldn't see him on the car.
Yeah, you couldn't see it on TV. You'd have to look at a picture.
Yeah,
from close up to tell.
Wait, I didn't see Reddick in his fire suit. Did he actually look like the Hamburger?
The fire suit made him look like the Hamburger. He even had the red tie.
Yeah.
In the fire suit.
Nice.
And the stripes. I think I'll have to find a picture of it. I think I stole one.
Did Bubba Wallace have a purple Grimace?
I don't know.
Suit on?
I hope he did. He probably looked like Barney if he did.
Tony Stewart would have made a better Grimace. Well, Hamburglar was my first choice, so I went with the number 10 Greg and his Winchester scheme, which was cool because it's Winchester. But why don't they have an actual image of a Winchester on the car?
I don't know. That's iconic. Everyone would know that picture.
Yeah. Are you not allowed to, like the 1860s lever action cowboy Winchester?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Are they not allowed to put gun images on the car or something? Is it like cigarette manufacturers now?
I've never heard any of that type of rule.
Yeah. I'd have like a big, like, submachine gun on the hood. Like really big.
That would be awesome. We can't have that. Well, coming up this weekend, we are heading to New Hampshire for the USA Today 301. That is 301 laps, 318 miles around New Hampshire.
Did the newspaper USA Today?
The newspaper USA Today.
Is the race going to have lots of colorful graphs and pie charts?
That's why I go to them for my news, so I don't have to read. I can just look at graphs and pie charts.
Oh, yeah.
But this race, another flat mile track, so looks like going to be a Gibbs and Penske show, probably.
Not Stewart Haas?
No, I don't think so.
Have Stewart Haas been good at any tracks?
It's not since Kevin Harvick retired.
Oh, yeah.
Have they even... I don't... Like, Josh Berry got up to the top 5 last week. They've had their moments here and there, but...
The only Ford to win is Keselowski?
Keselowski, Buescher, Penske.
Oh, yeah, that's
finally
right.
got one.
All right. Well, we'll see if that one's as good. It's a 1 mile? Yeah, 1 mile flat track, so that might be interesting. Do a lot of sliding around the corner.
Usually, I've seen some good strategy races there, too.
Yeah. I mean, as long as Goodyear figures it out.
Yeah.
I hate to have Goodyear become to where they're like determining the outcome of races like referees in basketball. Well, there was no racing in IndyCar last Sunday, but we did learn that IndyCar is going to go to Fox next year from Peacock. Peacock? What do you
NBC?
say? NBC, or do we say Peacock? What's it?
NBC. Well, I guess most people would watch on NBC or USA.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Goodbye, NBC. Hello, Fox.
Well, the good thing is all 17 races will be on network television, Big Fox. Practice and qualifying will be back on television instead of hidden away on Peacock, on Fox Sports 1 or Fox Sports 2. Even the Indy Lights are going to be on television, or Indy NXT, but that's a stupid name, so I'm not going to call them that. And then that's it for Peacock, I guess.
No more. Are we going to be able to on-demand stream the races from Fox? That's the big question.
Well, I know Fox has an app, which is terrible, because I used to have to try to watch NASCAR races on it after they aired, and it was tough to deal with and tough to find the correct show. I do know that Fox, ESPN, and TNT are starting a streaming network this fall called Venue Sports, which will have all of the sports from those channels together on it. But that's expected to be $40 to $50 a month.
Of course, because sports is where all the advertising is.
So much money compared to the $6 or $7 a month for Peacock.
Wouldn't it be better if we just record it on Sling that we already pay $35 a month to and watch it that way?
Looks like we'll be able to do it that way then if it's on Fox.
Yeah, I don't. So at this point, do we even keep Peacock?
I like having the IMSA races, but
yeah,
is that worth $7 a month?
Is anything worth $50 a month for a sport streaming thing? I mean, that's what cable used to cost.
Yeah.
Years ago.
If I could get every single thing I wanted to watch on that and have it there,
yeah,
then it would be fine. But I doubt I'm going to be able to get everything I want to watch on there.
Yeah. So Venue Sports will cost more than my Sling package.
Yes. Just
great.
Doesn't your? Well, I guess it doesn't have ESPN, but
not anymore. Oh, you can get. When college sports starts, then I'll add on the sports package, and then come January after all the playoffs and everything, then I turn off the sports package.
That is a nice thing. That's a little better than cable used to be. Is you can shut it off month to month and then add something on for a little bit.
Yeah.
But well, at least it'll be on antenna.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I just kind of hope that the NASCAR on Fox production crew is not going to be involved with this. But I don't think they will, because they'll be shooting NASCAR during the beginning of the season, I guess. I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully they put a fresh crew on the job.
Maybe they just need to pay them more money.
They do. I thought it was surprising that NASCAR only had 5 of 14 of their Fox races actually on Fox. The rest are on cable. Somehow IndyCar came out and got a better deal for that.
Yeah, I wonder how happy IndyCar's going to be. Maybe Fox will step up their game now that they have a full season of IndyCar.
Maybe the Indy production crew is the one that's actually doing the producing of the race.
Yeah, I mean, they do a decent job for IndyCar.
Yeah.
Well, in more IndyCar, Canapino was benched for the Road America race for, quote, mental health reasons. This is the guy whose fans issued death threats to Pork Chop after Pork Chop crashed into him. Then he gets benched.
Yeah.
So, mental health.
Mental health. I don't understand. Just tell us why you benched him, because I think we know why you benched him, and I don't think it was mental health. I think you just didn't like all the complaining and everything. You're like, you know what? We're just going to get rid of him for the weekend, then we don't have to talk about this.
Yeah, I think... Whose mental health? The sponsor's mental health? The Indy marketing executive's mental health?
IndyCar PR reps were... I think they all got together and just said, you know what? You're going to have a mental health day.
Yeah. I don't think Canapino was having any mental health issues.
And he was like, I'm fine. No, you're really not.
No, you're down.
Which, interesting timing, because immediately after that, Teddy Porkchops is out at McLaren, with Nolan Siegel taking over for the rest of the season.
Right. What did Pork Chops do? Did he say the wrong thing on social media?
Did he not yell at his fans for issuing death threats at people? I don't know.
They're French. They don't issue death threats. They just threaten to withhold shipments of Nutella.
What strange timing for that.
I know. All right, you can come back, but Pork Chops is fired.
I bet he was a little surprised. Like, what?
I still don't know how you call that one comment a death threat. That's the weakest death threat ever.
Yeah, I think that was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Everyone's overreacting.
Yeah. IndyCar really needed the press anyway, even if it was kind of made up, like most press. Isn't that what media does? They make things up, right?
A good amount of it, yes.
Okay.
Or they stoke, kind of try to pry and get people to say things that they shouldn't.
Oh yeah.
I don't understand that whole benching him for it. Like, what did they want him to do? Like, issue a statement full of like rainbows and puppies? Like,
Yeah.
I strongly condemn all forms of hate and people being angry. Is that what he was supposed to do?
Yeah. Why don't you just go on and go, dude, shut up.
Just like, guys, stop. Stop it.
You're going to cost me my job. Shut up. Something like that. It doesn't have to be the apology that was obviously written by the marketing department.
Yeah. Well, the announcement of the Fox TV deal got us the 2025 schedule, which will have thermal again, but not as an exhibition race. It's now a points race.
I would pay money to not see the thermal race.
Can they not find anything else to do in that, like, 2-month span of nothing?
It's like good weather in the Southwest, and you can't find anyone else to do a race at. That's the lamest race of the year.
Fox is now broadcasting NASCAR and IndyCar. Bring them to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Run a Saturday night race with NASCAR.
A triple header street race in downtown Phoenix.
That would be worth watching.
Yeah.
Take him to the Formula One track in Vegas. Texas, not on the schedule once again, and no other super speedways as well.
They need to go back to Pocono.
Pocono, Michigan, not Fontana. It doesn't exist. Texas. Come on.
Yeah, they could pull off two Michigan races. The downtown Detroit, and then the Speedway.
Michigan was fun.
I don't know. Does NASCAR run at that Speedway?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it still gets some action.
And now we're just waiting to hear when rumors of a international IndyCar race will happen for months, ultimately with nothing actually happening.
What's the last time that they went overseas? They used to do Australia every year.
Yes.
And then they went to England once, but then Zanardi lost his legs at England.
They did that. They did a race in a Dutch race before. They've done Japan.
They can barely make money in America. Who can afford to fly all the way overseas?
But I still hear every off season, like, oh, we're discussing this international race that never comes through. Like China, I remember hearing about once. I don't know. It happens every off season, and then they ultimately don't do anything.
Do they still have IROC?
I think they're bringing it back.
We need IROC again. IROC was kind of fun.
I liked having all the different drivers go out there in one race.
Yeah, I liked the cars each had a different color, and then you laughed at whoever got stuck with the pink car.
Coming up next for IndyCar this weekend, the WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca. It's a 2.2 mile track. They're going to run 95 laps for 213 miles.
That's kind of a long race.
It is.
They're usually 150. Is that why WeatherTech floor mats are so expensive? Is because they have to sponsor an IndyCar race?
Yeah, probably.
I looked at floor mats and I looked at WeatherTech, and they were like, I don't know, $200 or something for a truck.
And they have to sponsor IMSA also.
Oh, yeah, they just weren't worth. I'm like, really? It's a bunch of rubber. How can it be worth that much money? And then I bought the cheap one on Amazon.
It works just as fine.
Oh, well. Is Laguna going to have another magical Penske win?
Yes. Is that... Yeah, probably. Well, this is kind of Colton Herta's track, too. He's done really well here. So we'll see what sort of bad luck hits him and knocks him out of the race.
Yeah. How can Colton Herta get Ray hauled out of this race?
Probably by Ray Hall.
That would be horrible bad luck if Ray Hall and Herta crashed each other out. It's like the ultimate bad luck. Like a marmot runs across the track and takes Herta and Ray Hall both out. Or what kind of, I don't know, what kind of wild animals do they have living around Laguna Seca?
Rich people with too much money?
California condors?
Yeah.
Flies down, smashes into Herta, bounces into Ray Hall's car. Yeah. Well, there was no racing for Formula One this weekend either, but we did learn that Alpine is considering not making engines for the 2026 Formula.
Okay. As a protest or because they suck?
I think they suck. You know what? I'm betting they're struggling with the new formula. Too much electrical, I think. Otherwise, why would a works team say we're not going to make our own engine?
Does anyone even want a Renault engine anymore?
Not since Red Bull won like 4 championships for Vettel. That was a Renault engine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. They haven't been good since then. Maybe they could put in a little mini nuclear reactor. Then they don't have to harvest energy.
Is it nuclear or nuclear? Nuclear?
If you're George W. Bush, it's nuclear.
Nuclear.
Also, Carlos Sainz suggested media should be punished for false reporting.
Oh, man. I hope he's never watched MSNBC.
That is one big false reporting. Yeah. He doesn't know how it works in America where the media can say whatever they want, whether it's true or not. So I'm guessing Carlos is not a libertarian.
He's Spanish.
Yeah, what's the big party over there in Spain? The fascists? No, that was Italian.
Years ago.
Yeah.
What's?
I don't know the Spanish political parties.
No, I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure they have a left and a right though.
Is Barcelona the area that wants to separate?
Yeah. Yeah, the Catalonians tried to rebel and it didn't work out. But then they all got off because the prime minister couldn't put together a coalition, so he cut a deal with the Catalonians and said, "We won't prosecute you if you'll help me form a government." Well, clear. Sounds like politics. Next up, the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona. 2.9 mile track, 66 laps, 191 miles. Another long race.
It's another high-speed track, so back to Red Bull dominance.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
I bet. I don't know if any of those teams have caught up on the high speed, but what I'm hoping for is some Catalonia independence protests on the track.
I think the Doctor in Master and Commander series was from Catalonia.
Oh yeah, he was. He was. They all thought he was Spanish, but he was Catalonian because he could speak both languages. And I think that's why he served on a British ship, because he was from Catalonia, so he hated the Spanish.
That's fair enough.
And the French. How far did you get in that series?
I'm about to start book 4.
Oh, okay. It stays pretty interesting. There's like 13 books in that series.
It's been good.
Yeah.
I had seen the movie years ago before even starting the books, which I wish they would have kept making.
That was a good movie.
Movies.
Yeah, women aren't watching that movie, though it's total man movie.
Do they need to? I'm fine with.
If you want to sell movie tickets, they do.
No.
Because usually guys don't go out to the movie by themselves. They take a girl and then they say, "Well, what do you want to see?" And she's like, "Well, I don't want to see that ship movie where they blow each other up all day."
I went to the theater by myself to see that movie. I remember.
Yeah, yeah. You're probably not, unless she likes Russell Crowe a lot. You're probably not getting a girl to go to that movie. At least there was a backdrop love story in Gladiator.
Oh yeah, unnecessary.
Yeah.
It was me watching movies. Love story, unnecessary. Cut it.
Yeah.
Well, so interesting fact for this weekend coming up. We've got F1 from 6 to 8 this morning, our time. IMSA race, the 6 hours at the Glen, from 8 to 12. NASCAR from 12 to 3. Generous timing for NASCAR there.
Yeah.
And then Indy from 3 to 5, so you can finally sit down for 10 straight hours and watch all of the races. I'm just glad someone decided to schedule the races at a proper time and they're not all overlapping.
I'm going to say it was the Illuminati because I don't think racing could ever be that organized.
No, it's like a miracle.
Plus, who wants... I mean, I love racing, but 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. straight?
I'll get around to watching all of the races. Probably recorded and skipping commercials.
Yeah, 11 straight hours of racing. I don't even think the extended version Lord of the Rings marathon goes that long.
Oh, that was about 12 hours.
Oh, was it 12?
I did it 3 nights in a row in the theaters a couple weeks ago.
Dude, didn't they have a buffet once when they came out with the second or the third movie? You could do a thing. You could watch the first movie and then they catered a buffet and then watch the second movie or something like that.
Was it just different kinds of cooked potatoes?
Potatoes and bad fish stew.
Oh, and cherry tomatoes also.
Yes. Oh, and lots of beer.
Mm.
I don't know. What other food did they have in... Well...
Lembas bread?
And orc meat. Remember? The one...
Oh.
The mean orcs ate the stupid orcs in that one.
Yum.
Yeah. There wasn't a lot of food. Have you seen... I saw a picture of Ozzy Osbourne, and he looks like Denethor. Who's the father that...
Denethor?
Yeah, was he the father that had the 2 sons, and the older son died, and that's the one he liked?
The steward that went crazy at the end there.
Yeah. That's what Ozzy Osbourne looks like now. He's got the gray hair all slicked back, and it's kind of long.
That's kind of funny.
Somebody wrote, he looks like he wishes his other son had lived. All right, that's it for the Pit and Paddock show. 3 races next weekend.
Fun weekend.
So we'll have lots of good info, plenty of insights, plenty of info that you can't get anywhere else, and lots of comedy.
Yes.
Have a good week.